reality to be focused on me. I'm on TV. I am a Vidiot.
Welcome back to Vidiot On Demand. I'm your host, Fillip Williams, and today you are watching the 7 days of Philip's Christmas recommendations. Like, comment, subscribe. Consider this my gift to you, a recommendation of something you can watch to get into the Christmas spirit. I'll be including some things that are specific to me and my experiences as a Swedish American, so some of these might seem obvious and others not so much. Just enjoy, and I hope I introduce you to your new favorite Christmas tradition. Nissene på Låven. In the early 2000s, the reality TV boom put a horrifyingly ugly dent in our pop culture landscape. Once greedy executives realized how much money they could make off of the low-effort film everything but only put out the highlights on TV approach that was it. Over 20 years later, and we're still paying for it. Eventually, shows had to get more crazy and out there just to retain viewership. That is where this Norwegian show stepped in. Allow me to read the Wikipedia article on this. 24 Santas are gathered in a barn to compete for the title of the best Santa. They are split into two teams, the Greybeards and the Whitebeards. Every day they compete in contests related to Christmas. The losing team has to meet in the barn parliament to vote out a member of their team. They are voted out one by one until the strongest Santa is left on Christmas Eve. At first I thought this was cute, it seems like a nice idea, I like the theme, and of course the whole Christmas calendar aspect was fun, but then I started watching it and realized, this is hilarious. Basically, it's a scripted satire. Most of the cast are made up of comedians and actors, save for one, the host of the show, which was played by Norway's Ryan Seacrest. I have fond memories of watching this with my mom every day in December of 2001. There are so many gags that I liked in the show, but by far the best one was this ridiculous running gag where this guy keeps getting voted off the show. Every time the characters have a chance to vote somebody off, it almost always was the same guy. And because of some ridiculous rule, they always say, well, if something came up,
Hello again.
This guy would get the chance to come back because he was voted off first. And he seems like such a good sport about it. He seems like a nice guy, but for no reason, they just hate him and they keep voting him out. It's just such a great gag. I love it. I like this show so much that one time, like 15 years ago, I was in like a DVD shop, one of the last ones around. I happened to come upon this show, so I actually own it on physical media. Look at it. It's pretty cool. I believe the same producers tried to make a spiritual sequel of this show the following year where they decided to spoof The Bachelor, where one Santa had his pick of 24 beautiful ladies to become his Mrs. Claus. But to my recollection, it didn't really have the same spirit and it didn't really hold up. But then again, it was so long ago. I just remember I didn't keep up with it, and so it just kind of fell by the wayside. I'd like to kind of find that and see if it does hold up. Now, it has come to my attention that America bought the rights to this show a while back, and they made something called
Santa's in the Barn.
Who wants to see America's best Santa?
Hosted by comedian and podcaster John Gabris. From what I can tell, it feels like the producers simply looked up the Wikipedia article that I read for you earlier and took it at face value without realizing that this was supposed to be a satire, a scripted send-up reality shows. But instead, they just found a bunch of crazy Americans to do crazy reality show bullshit, not adding any of the intended subversive commentary, and just made a cheapo, sincere reality show. Yuck, never watched it, didn't know it existed, and apparently neither does anyone else. Seriously though, the original Norwegian show was so good in my household that I do have half a mind to crack open this DVD and actually give it another go, just to see, does it still hold up? I remember loving this. So if you can find this show, are familiar with Norwegian, and or have a copy with accurate subtitles, then I say give this one a watch. By all means, check out this wonderful Christmas special. I hope you enjoyed this video and have found a new Christmas tradition. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. I'm Fillip Williams. Like and subscribe. Follow me on Instagram and all of those other social media places. I hope you remember me when you become rich and famous.